still have 1 minute, so I'm going to let you all actually just get comfortable. But before that, just hi, meet the person next to you, introduce yourselves, cohort, city, where you are right now, etc., etc.
I also want to introduce you.
Yes, yeah. Once, I think, let the TV screen come.
Yes, yes. Thank you, whoever did it. Thank you so much. Like we have like aprons and all colorful things in front of us. So the person that we're going to enjoy with is Manasi Mehan. She's the founder of Saturday Art Class. It was a BPCP project when she was in fellowship. Then she made it into like a big project, and she works for students. It provides plans and classes for the educators to take art classes for their students. So it's art through education to art. So let's welcome Manasi.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here. In the meantime, before, now you can go back to your introductions, but just make sure you have art supplies so we can just, I don't want to interrupt you all while you all are arting. I'll tell you more about the word arting later. Just introduce yourselves, make sure you all have supplies. If there's anyone extra, we'll clear this section for you all, or just feel free to push things in one space, but find an apron, get comfortable. Yeah. Congratulations. I don't know. I don't think she was allowed. You can take those chairs from outside if you want. Just take them. So you need aprons, paper, you will need also, I think I've asked them to give me plain white sheets and they've not arranged for it, so please use the back side of it. Yeah. Yeah, so just make sure you have, instead of using templates, use the plain white sheets. Yeah. Who's gonna set up my PPT, or they already have it? It's not very she knows 2015. Anyone wants more pencils? Yeah. So all art supplies are behind. If you don't have anything, feel free to get some. We're creating a classroom space for y'all. Okay. Okay, so I think while they set up, let me quickly introduce my work more than myself. So I co-founded Saturday Art Class back in 2017. Saturday Art Class, and I hope while y'all are doing some art, ask me why the organization is named Saturday Art Class. No, we just don't work on Saturdays. But it's essentially the idea of how do you bring in student agency into your spaces of education, and Saturday Art Class is essentially that. It's something that came in from my classroom where I taught my children, and I was never providing them art, and it just came from the voices, so very bottom up, very like, Didi, why aren't you making us do art? And it's basically that solution, which is now scaled to more than 13 states in India. So in case anyone's interested in partnering with us, reach out to me after. But essentially the idea is, how do you create safe spaces of expression education in classrooms? How do you not restrict education to just a certain language of learning? How do you bring in emotions? How do you bring in conversations? How do you bring in creativity in education as a whole? Because like our national education policy talks about holistic education, expression, art, social emotional learning. It's very difficult to put this policy into practice, but at Saturday Art Class, that's what we're trying to do. And the way we do it is our scale and flagship program is called the Art for Educator program. So I don't know if anyone here is a part of it right now. Essentially, we work with resources and people on the ground, and we just first work on your SCL, your creativity, your interest towards the arts as a teacher, as an educator. And then you just take very, very simple plans into your classroom, which requires the minimum amount of resources. So this is a privilege right now, this space and all of it. But basically, whatever the child has in their school bags, we try to work with that. And of course, like basic art supplies, like a 5 rupee crayon box, etc., etc. But I don't know how many of y'all have been fellows. How many of y'all had art in your classrooms? How many of y'all taught art in your classrooms?
There's a few.
So essentially, this is going to hopefully make sure that we can make art accessible to all your students, wherever you all are. Even if you've sort of now you're not teaching your students anymore, how do you just make art accessible? Thank you so much for being here today. Today is not going to be about what you're going to be doing in your classes. Today is going to be about you experience what the potential of your children have to experience in their classes, irrespective of where you are. You could be a fellow, you could just be a teacher now, you could be an alumni, you could be working wherever, however, whenever. However, as Teach for India fellows, alumni, we're always on the path of impacting children and working with children, so you never know where this is going to come in. But also, this is only for you to sort of step back and reflect and just enjoy your Sunday, okay? So we're going to be talking about how visual arts and social emotional learning can transform classrooms into creative spaces, creative safe spaces. But before I begin, the more you get to know me through this session, you'll realize that I don't want to talk too much, right? So you're going to be participating very actively. You're going to bring out that creativity, which I don't know when you've last sort of explored. If it's like 10 minutes ago, yay. But if it's something that you've not done in a while, this is the space to do it. It's a safe space. Let it out. And I'm hoping we follow Chatham House rules where this stays within the space, whatever we share. There could be a call and response if I feel like really bringing my Didi hat on right now, not really, but somebody can suggest something. But usually it's a Saturday and you all say art class. Just because I know as this session progresses, you're going to hate me every time I ask her to stop to just listen to me. Okay? So Saturday, perfect. And if anyone wants to add their own norm at any point here. Phones on silent could be one. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, we can keep adding them if we need. Okay, like I mentioned, Saturday Art Class, born in 2017, co-founded with Chavi Khandelwal, who's an architect, was not a fellow, began in this incredible classroom of Class 3B in Shankarwadi, Mumbai Public School. Some of you all may have known about Nazaria and the ongoing projects, but Saturday Art Class began in that class of third graders. My kids are now in college, so do the math, do the age. I've grown old along with my kids. But essentially the idea of how are you going to create safe spaces of expression without letting language be a barrier, but also because art is a compulsory subject in most schools. So how are you sort of bridging that gap and making sure that you are giving that to a child because of the power that the arts has? And why do we do what we do? Why does Saturday Art Class even exist? Because we believe every child deserves to have a safe space of expression and create with confidence, where nothing is right, nothing is wrong. It's a part of themselves being presented on paper or any form of art. And we do visual arts because specifically it is part of multiple government systems and schools. And also the resources and the training or whatever the lesson plan you'll see today is very, very, very scalable. And it depends on a teacher how they want to alter it. But also you can just do this in, let's say, less than 5 to 10 rupees a child with the available resources that this needs. So we're going to experience a Saturday art class today. Y'all will take away a lot, but as of now, I don't want y'all to like take any notes. The only thing you're going to be doing is arting. Arting is a word that one of our students came up with one day when he said, Didi, I was really angry, and then I went into my house and I started arting. And I was like, at one point, I was like, arting isn't really a word. But then someone from my team was like, but why not? It's just the process of creating art. So we're going to be doing some arting. The way Saturday art class is usually structured with our lesson plans is first we explore. We explore a form of art, an artist. We then move into an imagine and create, and then there's a sharing. So this same structure is what really happens in a classroom. So I've literally got you one of the lesson plans, and we're just going to be doing that today. Cool? Awesome. Like I said, participate, talk, don't make this a one-sided. Because you know what? Karma exists, and then if you're in your classroom, your kids look at you. You know that feeling, let's not repeat it here. Thank you. Awesome. We're going to go into the exploration part. We're exploring Gond art today. Has anyone heard of Gond? Thank you. Awesome. So, before we begin going into the exploration part, I want you to sort of internally reflect on this piece of art. Okay? What do you think is really happening here? What emotions is this sort of provoking in you? Is there any social issue that you feel like this painting is depicting? Now again, remember, no right, no wrong, whatever you think is. I'm going to move if you need to kind of see the screen. That's why I asked for something that you could actually see the painting. And we can popcorn it up. So just like wait for like 30 seconds that everyone sort of consolidate what they see. And then whoever wants to start sharing and begin their version of art. Can you see? You can also see.
I feel like the central figure there is providing sustenance to the village from the river.
Love it.
I'm still not sure it's a village. I just feel like it's an ecosystem, but I'm still trying to figure out the segments.
You do you. Yes.
It seems like it's a wave of nature, how the nature is interconnected with one another. I can see the figure as a father cosmos and how everything is connected within itself.
It's also representing the balance of nature, like how nature as well as human beings are interdependent of each other, and animals are also there, like how we use them, how we basically exploit them.
Amazing. Also, some of y'all may know about a certain form of art, or y'all may be doing art, but some of y'all may not. And given my background, I'm a psychologist. So for me, art is just the medium of art is what's important. So don't worry about getting any facts right here. Just tell me exactly what you think you see. It doesn't have to be what someone started with. It is basically what you think. Forget that no one's in this room. I just want you to sort of give me your thoughts.
I feel how this art, what it's depicting is how human at a center with the entire system around him.
Systems thinking, the new hot word in our sector. Very true.
Actually, I see a lot of like different occupations, like exhibition, I see programs.
Perfect.
I think I see culture in the sense a culture and an atmosphere where there's also a Cerberus, a three-headed dog, and there's peculiar animals there. So it's not just reality or the materialistic world; it's also a lot of imagination and the culture folklore attached.
Brilliant.
My initial thought was somewhat about going back to the roots and like maybe even a reference to nuclearization, like how everyone goes on different ways as time passes.
Lovely, lovely. Yes.
That's what that. Just a person living vibrating could be as nostalgia, and it's the pure shows the passage of time. So how we started on and what next generation.
Incredible, incredible. And now, what do you see when it comes to just like what would you see in terms of the art? Like what are you seeing? Like what elements are you seeing? Colors, patterns. What else? Contrast. Okay.
Solid colors.
Solid colors. Bright colors. Primary colors. Stick figures. They have a form of sort of a kind of way of drawing their animals, etc., etc. That's very
Patterns across.
different kind of patterns.
There's also some form of symmetry.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's chaotic because there's too much happening, but in a very structured manner.
Awesome. So, what we're talking about is Gond art, which sort of comes from the Gond tribe that is from like central India. And the beauty of it is it's just the community talking about what they respect and what sort of builds their community, and that's nature. So myths, folklore, messages to the community, issues that sort of rise in the community, all of this is used as a way of talking about it via Gond art, right? And what we see is that this is also a way of storytelling, but it requires a lot of bright colors, a lot of patterns, like you mentioned, and they have this way of sort of drawing their animals and figurines. But each art has their own story to tell, and I believe that when we talk about art, everyone has their own interpretation of it. Of course, an artist talks about where a certain art form, like art, has come from, the story, etc. But we as observers can sort of interpret it ourselves. So that's what we did. We just explored one painting, and the beauty of it was everyone had something different, or there were some similarities between what people saw, or you sort of kind of continued on it without knowing the form of art. And what we feel is, like, when it comes to the themes and narratives of Gond art, and again, look at it, we're looking at a very different kind of, we're looking at a different art piece right now. And again, I want you to observe, because this is a game of observation, right? So again, what would you say are the themes, or what is really coming out in any of these two images, the art pieces?
Festival and celebration.
Community.
Nature,
Bright colors.
Minute work.
very intricate, minute work, details,
Some sort of creation is happening.
Branching out. Was
Oh.
the point.
Agriculture.
agriculture, branching out, nature, animals, respect towards nature, huge part of the community, right? Like, they're always, like, for them, it's like they exist with nature and they respect nature. And that's what you'll see in most of the forms of art. You will see they have lots of trees, lots of animals, and just lots of like ways of talking about just not what's happening within their society, but also as a way of literally talking about their issues. So they're using art to celebrate, but they're also using art as a way to communicate certain messages. So again, you will see connections between community and the environment. Common subjects include animals, trees, landscapes, symbolizing just like connectedness of life. Culturally relevant stories, so myths, folklore, and like daily life stories coming out through art. And again, like challenges, messages that they want to communicate via art. Okay? So, when we talk about the technique of Gond art, again, if I'm in a classroom and I'm a teacher, now shifting it a little bit, when somebody sees this kind of art, what is the first reaction of, let's say, a student or even a teacher? It's intricate. It's intimidating, right? But the idea is, and again, when I'm telling you this, I want you to take inspiration. I don't want you to do what our students do, and unfortunately this education system makes them do rote learning, copying, and just like memorization. I want you to just take inspiration. Can we try and do that today as we start prepping for what's to come? Okay? So, essentially, when you talk about Gond art, super simple. Of course, there are patterns and they do pay attention to detail. And trust me, when you're going to do it, your own version is going to come out. But along with like vibrant colors, it just begins with a simple outline, right? Usually, I encourage people to not use erasers because just like go with the flow, get inspired, don't try to copy. Just use your imagination and creativity to just create a version of this for yourselves. Again, they sometimes use natural dyes, and that's how they create their work. So now comes the fun part. I want us to create our version of Gond. No, we're not getting to it yet. You know, usually like the minute it's like, I'm telling you, we're all like our students. Just listen to, there's like more to come before we begin. Just listen to what I'm going to tell you and then we'll take it from there, okay? So this is the second part of how our lesson plans are structured. So first we explored, again I'm going really quickly because I know we've already lost time. Happy to share the lesson plan and resources after. But we've done our exploration part. We now move on to the imagine and create. Tough to do that in the mundane life of just like imagination and creation, but we're going to really step back and try by doing our own goals, but we're going to keep a social theme in mind that addresses like a problem or just a social issue or just a message that you want to sort of talk about via art. I'm not even saying via gond, I'm saying via art. Cool? So you can't see this right now, but I'm going to show you what I mean. This is a version of the art that I have created. Okay, so I have created two sides of an education system, keeping in mind the work that I do as the current, but this future that I hope the system would have. So I know you can't see this, but you will be able to. It's also I don't want you to see it because like I want you to create your own version. But you will see this humongous tree that I've drawn in the middle, and I've then used it as a division. Again, this is my artwork, my idea. Yours is going to come out now, okay? Just remember that. So this is like essentially I've drawn, and you'll see there are dashed dotted lines as the roots. I've drawn a very withered tree here, which really just talks about the education system as a whole, with the foundations being really weak. I've drawn, and at these roots, I've drawn like empty paint bottles. I've drawn broken pencils and chalks, just sort of representing the state of like the art education in India. I've then like drawn a broken door, which just talks about like the lack of opportunities that are faced in the sector. I've drawn a clock without hands, because for me, that's just like how the policy is right now. Like, no one really tracks the time. We just talk about policy, but when is it really going into action? We don't know. I've also represented students through birds, just like how they are when it's like lack of creativity, safe spaces in the education system. On the other side, I've flipped it around. I've drawn a very healthy tree. I've drawn a clock with hands because, yay, policy is going into practice. I've drawn cheerful birds. I've drawn so many art supplies, and I've also drawn an educator nurturing the tree. That's a problem I'm really passionate about. That's what I've been spending the last 7 years of my life trying to do and solve. And that's my version of getting inspired by the Gond art. So, can we try? It could be anything. Try and figure out one social problem that maybe you want to talk about, and I just want you to draw a simple outline of it. Can you see how simple it is? You can't even see it because it's like literally just an outline with a pencil. Could we give it a try? Again, no right, no wrong, just go with the flow. You're getting inspired by Gond, you don't have to create your own Gond art. Use the inspiration, use the exploration part that we just sort of understood, and let's try. I'm only going to give you 10 minutes for resources will come to y'all. 10 minutes, just start drawing, okay? If there are any pencils there, if y'all could just I'm just going to put on some.
No, yes, everybody has a white paper.
So since we got a lot more sign-ups, just try and if you could just pass some pencils to people.
Yeah. Pencils out there.
Everybody has a pencil on this table. Please sharpen it. You need a pencil?
1:30, right? I'll try because it's already been a big technical.
Next, and there's no time slot.
I know. I'll try. I'll try for sure. We have 8 minutes more. I will just move on with the next piece of instructions. In case you all require more time, we can move. You all are good? Everyone has supplies? Perfect. If you have any questions, just call me and I'll be there. Can you help me some water? Can you just get more of this? Just keep it on the table? Yeah. Should we pass it around after the lunch? She wants to drink. Oh.
I'm sorry, but does anyone have some drinking water?
You have enough? I think so, yeah. Three minutes more, okay?
शूटिंग के में आए ऐड YouTube और बैक करते अब पढ़ते हुए सर्च करते हुए शॉपिंग करते हुए भी
Cool. 2 more minutes, okay? And then we're going to go on to the next step. Don't worry about not finishing the drawing. Whoever can then you can transition that into the next step. That's not drinking water. Sorry. Stop painting. Sorry, the water that's coming your way is for painting. If you need water to drink, we can get you some. Okay. I know the best part and then I have to pause. Awesome. Like I said, don't worry about your artwork not getting done. They're also asking me to clear up a little earlier, so I just want to make sure that we're starting the next step. The details will come in as we go. Feel free to stop painting, remove get back to your pencil and add more details if you want. But I hope at this point your social problem that you're trying to depict is clear and you've started with the process. That's enough. Okay, step 2. What we spoke about is there are these bright, vibrant colors that the Gond artists use. My version was there is this one world that it's the current reality, and then there's this future that I'm working towards. So I have decided to choose my own set of colors to depict that. So some of the darker, duller colors as the current reality versus the future. Again, I didn't really follow the pop color rule. Feel free to use whatever colors, but again, we're just going to be painting within the outline. That's all we're going for. Doable?
Yes.
Easy? Yeah? Awesome. So you have water for painting. You will have palettes. Also, there are sketch pens. If you want to use color pencil sketch pens and you don't want to paint, that's an option as well. Whatever you think can work, go ahead. We're going to be giving you the next 15 minutes. Again, it could be a work in progress because we'll just go on to the next step, but you can continue the way you want. Okay? If you need any supplies, reach out. Like I said, sketch pens, paints, and color pencils is what we have.
So if you need anything, shallow, glasses, just let me know. And then
I just don't want to mix the blue with the white. Okay, thanks so much.
You don't have water. Could you pass some water?
This is extra.
Here.
sorry. Yeah. And if you need tissue paper, please let me know what are
We can share.
Yeah, feel free to.
and also tissue paper to clean your brush. Putting it here, use as much.
Thank you.
you whenever you can.
Will you give us time checks too?
Also, I'm a bit sorry in advance if you hear YouTube ads. It's not my laptop. I'm just using YouTube, so just apologize in advance. I just want to have the music play as we sort of create some art. I'm here if anyone requires any help or any questions at all. Katie, whenever you have 2 minutes, come and see the session. Guys, you are okay?
Yes.
Yeah? Awesome. All good here? Do you all need anything? Does anyone here need anything? Just ask. I am so happy as I'm just walking around. It's incredible. The beauty is no one's artwork is the same. Unlike the notebooks and the worksheets.
Brush.
Of course. Could we just get some brushes from there? No, I'm good. That's fine. That's fine. I got some SOS art supplies as well. Listen, I know you want me to wrap up at 1:15, but it really won't be possible because I can't cut down my 30 minutes. Yeah, and I'll ask everyone to help clear up. So we'll do it. Thanks. Yes, we actually do. There are the fourth box of pens. Could you just pass that? Yeah, just pass it. And as you're doing this artwork, right, I know like some of y'all I can see are in like the yellow bands of fellows, but also just think about, forget the fact that like you're a fellow, you're teaching in a classroom, but just think about the potential of the arts and what our children are missing out on, even though the systems are made to provide this in their classrooms. This is part of the art today. Hopefully you see this in the classes as well. Sorry, because it's so nice. You can actually make your own version on the side. I don't need you. Sit, really, trust me. No, just start. It's fine.
This is like so.
And yeah, I'm feeling so much just joy seeing the fact that everyone's engaging in the arts.
It's also showing on your face.
Okay, another 8 minutes, and I'm just going to go to the next step, but you all can continue at your pace. Till we really have to stop eventually, but not now. Okay? No. This is the Muso one. But yeah. I feel like kids create like all of them, irrespective of where they come from. Ice cream eating another ice cream. Yeah, क्या चाहिए ना? 1:30. Is this the coastal road or like construction or fishing?
Sorry?
Sorry, construction, fishing, what?
These are just dark areas.
Saturday. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to go ahead. I feel like a lot of y'all are nearing the end of the painting. So if you don't mind, and trust me, this exactly the same thing happens in class. So I always make kids do like the wavy, like whatever, glitter hands, because it's difficult to put down your paint brushes while I speak. I feel like you're still not putting it down. But I just want to really take you to the next steps, because then we will then go on to sharing, and that we'll sort of do together. So once we've done painting inside the outline, we're going to go on to adding the right? So this is our level of inspiration that we're taking from Gond. So again, for me, I've taken a lot of broken lines, dotted line, dash lines here. While here, I've then just added my own happy patterns based on what I felt makes my two versions sort of come together. Any patterns. Some examples of the patterns you want to create. I'm happy to also just put the Gond original artwork here. So if you want to use some patterns from there, maybe I'll just put the screen on that. But just once you're done, I also have some permanent markers, which is Saturday Art Class material. So once you're done, hand it back. But in case your normal sketch pens don't work, because I already see some of y'all are using mixed medium of like pencils, sketch pens, pens, etc. Use your pattern, you just outline, or just feel free to add patterns, feel free to not add patterns. This is your artwork, right? So it's 12:56 now. By 1:10, we're going to stop wherever we are, because we're going to just open it up to the last part of the lesson plan, that's sharing. So I'm going to give you all uninterrupted time now, 14-ish, 15 minutes to just sort of complete the painting and adding the patterns if required. Awesome. So some more patterns that you could add, but I'll just take it back to the original Gond artwork if you want to sort of take this.
So the patterns can be in any color?
Anything. Like, if you need any sketch pens and all, they're all available here. I'm predicting a YouTube ad. Oops. Yes. Sure. This is one, and then yeah, I think I'll keep this on for a bit.
We want to also be a part of this. Like, what is the time?
It's done. It's already ongoing.
Any other session?
So this is a random question. It is actually about the art. Do they have outlines or they don't have outlines in the art?
I think it depends on artist to artist. Some of them I think have art outlines, some of them don't. So
That's her question.
yeah. Good? You're good?
I think I need to wrap it.
Get me the stickers, right, if you're done. Or whatever's remaining. Does anyone need anything there? Sketch pens? Hi, do you need anything? You good? Oh, perfect. Don't forget to sign. Artists always sign their work.
Everybody's.
That's the beauty. It's never going to be the same. It should never be the same. Yes, unlike our notebooks. Seven minutes more, okay? हाँ हाँ prefer that. If you're almost finishing and you believe you're finished, don't forget to sign. Artists always inform the world who's made it. I know. I hope the people who at least made it feel.
You cannot try it.
Can I try black marker? You look very familiar. Were you at the exhibition? Saturday Art Class exhibition?
Yeah.
Pune exhibition, yeah. Do you need a black marker?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, there are black markers here and sketch pens there. What do you need?
Can you give black marker and markers?
I'll just tap and come to help.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome. Five more minutes, okay? Just because I really want us to have the sharing piece as well. Oh no. 3 more minutes. You don't have to finish your artwork yet. And artwork's never complete, so it can constantly go on and on. We really have to clear this room in a while. Therefore, there's a time limit. Yeah, there are multiple. Throw? Good catch. You did, I think, yeah. I can see the patterns. You can also see patterns by using paint brushes.
Are we sharing post for a painting?
Yeah.
So, like, we have to shoot it. So, we have to give that mind to everyone.
Okay, I'll just ask if people are also comfortable with. This music playlist has been very kind to me with the no ads. Okay, let's start wrapping up as much as we can to continue later. Don't forget to sign, irrespective of your artwork complete or no. You know the signal. Saturday. I know, I'm so sorry. We don't have to finish it yet. If we have some extra time, but I feel like even sharing is a beautiful, beautiful part of this. So I'm sorry. The technical glitch, I couldn't start the presentation without the. Just to show you all some go on that. Everyone who's at the corner, like the side there, could you all just like turn around? I know it hurts to put down the pencils and the sketch pens and the paintbrushes, but I promise this is not the end of it, and I have an opportunity for you all towards the end, right? Could we all just now stop for a bit to take up the next piece, which is okay. What they've asked is, since they're recording the session, again, I'm leaving it up to y'all. Would y'all like this part to not be recorded if we're talking about the fact that this is a safe space, if we're going to be sharing something that someone's not comfortable with? If that's one option, or the second option is if we all are okay with it, then y'all will have to use a mic to talk because it's being recorded. Who wants it? Who's okay with it being recorded? Who's not okay? Okay.
I'm okay with it being recorded. I might not.
That's okay. Okay, perfect. Maybe we can talk after, and we'd like love to. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's completely fine. Okay, we have. It's 1:11. They've asked us to wrap up by 1:25, being very transparent with you all about the time we have. I'd love if somebody here wants to share what they've drawn. But while you share about what you've drawn, also just talk about the process, right? It's not, of course, it's a lot about the artwork, but it's not about how the art looks. It's not about the perfect art piece, because that perfect art piece, I don't know how many of y'all experienced this in school when you all were in school, but in my school, the perfect art piece was that mountains and that tree, and then sometimes you could draw that apple on that tree, and sometimes when we grew older, it was that bucket and the cloth and just like I don't know if you all had that still life, and this is not it. So whoever feels like wants to share, just in the interest of time and maybe that, just to keep the space sort of a space where more voices are heard, if we could keep it crisp to like a 30-second sharing about what you've drawn, but also how the process sort of was for you. Anyone who wants to start? Perfect, let's go. Again, 30-second, is that okay? And yeah,
I'll just give you a mic, please. Just talk.
if you're not okay with it, just
If you're
choose
not,
not to.
absolutely. If you're comfortable, let me know. If you're not, just
Just a mic. So this is the piece of art that I've drawn. So basically due to the lack of color shades, so I've only highlighted the emotions through colors. So basically through red I've highlighted, basically it's a child abuse, social issues. So through the red part, if you see, I have shaded with a child and the books with the red part, basically the aspirations or the danger of the child's future. And the later I've used bright colors for the child's imagination, that is blue, green and yellow. And later if we even seen book, there are certain shades of yellow, but still it is fading. So basically I feel like child abuse is something which is very personal to me, like I've seen around, and something which has mean a lot for me in that way. So the thing is that abuse is something which is not like for a single day, but it really impacts the future when a child's grow older. So basically whatever the aspiration the child has, even in a schools, I feel that more or less every child goes through certain kind of abuse, whether it's physical or like emotional or mental. So it's just a depiction of mine, like the imagination the child has due to all these things, where actually the child doesn't have any fault, but the society is such complex thing because of adults, trauma or everything the child has to suffer. So that I have, it's like a unbreakable cycle, but I feel still there are ways in which we can really help the children. So, yes.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for.
Okay. Hi, so this is my eyebrow. Very depressing. But yeah, so the issue that I've been trying to highlight is mental health. Personally, I'm being someone who's grappled with chronic anxiety for as long as I can remember. And trust me, the luxury of not living with anxiety is something that I never got to experience. I think the basic idea is this is the tree of life or time or whatever. It signifies time, and then these are kids or humans or children that are hanging onto the tree, and the more the burden gets, the more they drop towards the river where there's a monster and towards the inevitable end. Inevitable end could be anything. It could be the worst that you could imagine, anything, or not pursuing your passion. So I think my idea of it is just there are shackles that always bind people who struggle mentally, and they would not be able to. They're not physically on a same pedestal. People who are lucky enough to not be grappling with something so terrible. So I think the issue is mental health issues and how these are like so neglected, and it's just there. Even when you're at your best self, you're always held by something which people you won't be able to explain it to anyone else. So I think I would feel like that.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
Are you comfortable? Yeah. Hi, my name is Neha. So before joining Teach for India, I used to volunteer in schools in Sundarbans. So those of you who know Sundarbans, it's very close to the Bangladesh border. And one of the biggest issue that happens is child trafficking and women trafficking. So that's something very, very close to my heart. So yeah, this is something is very chaotic, and children are literally sold by their parents. They are not kidnapped, but they are sold by their parents. And in Calcutta, again, this is like the Ganges. It's just like a few kilometers away, where I see girls still freer comparatively than like Sundarbans and Bangladesh. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for sharing.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah. Hello everyone. So I'm Shikha. I was just honestly, I am one person who really is very afraid of art. And growing up, I've always heard that a sports person can't really draw. And whenever, even right now, when I was doing it, the process, as you were sharing, I think it was a lot about fighting with my own self, thinking, not looking across, thinking it's okay, even if it's dirty or even if it's messy or it's yours. So I think it takes a lot of battle for my own self to not really fight for perfection and look over just the beauty of how it is. And I think while I was thinking about a social issue, I was just thinking about how opportunity really looks in action for everybody. And yesterday we were talking about love is about reaching to the last child, and I was just thinking like how in school, from home we open up a door to a school where there are a lot of kids with a lot of hope and love, but we put them in a robotic structure, and then a very few of them pass out to college where they actually hear multiple perspectives, and they're so confused with spirals of what should we do, because then the world expects them to be creative, critical and curious, and then they enter a work life where they don't really know if that's what they really want to do, and the number keeps reducing. And then there are even fewer who comes back to the cycle of actually impacting more people. So I was just thinking across those lines. I was thinking about people who are dropping out, how are they coming back again, and actually not really saying that after 10th or 8th the world ends, but how do they really explore. So I was just thinking from that lens. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for sharing. I would love if we could share more. Unfortunately, they need the space for the next session. However, I genuinely want to thank all of y'all for just spending this time here today. I just think that very often as entrepreneurs, we come into like build organizations that say like we believe the child needs this.
Yeah.
But honestly, Saturday Art Class, even the name of it was really built from like one of the students questioning why every art class I was converting to a RC or a writing class. It was literally that. And I think I'm also pretty intimidated by art, but it's just the process of it that we need to sort of hold on to. So I think just one thing that I want to open up this opportunity. Of course, if you're working at an organization today, if you are a fellow, you want to partner with Saturday Art Class, this is our model, the Art for Educator model. We're in 6 cities in Teach for India right now. Pratham, Educate Girls. We're working with the largest, but also some of the organizations in Sundarbans, in Assam, Nagaland, etc., Kashmir. In case you feel like this could be a partnership, reach out to us. Easiest way is follow our Instagram. You'll be taken from there. However, this is one resource which is like an immediate action step. So with Pratham, we've created our lesson plans into short format work, like just like 10-minute videos in Hindi and English. So as an educator, you can access it. You can give this to your children. You can have this in your classrooms. Just an open resource that we hope can reach children wherever they are. So once again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. In the spirit of collaboration, one of the outcomes that Saturday Art Class measures could we all just sort of help clear the space for the next.
So sweet. That's so cute.
Thank you so much.
Back.
Yeah.